So let me introduce myself and what's going to happen here today. So I'm Sorel Reisman. I'm the managing director of MERLOT. I'm also a professor, does it say there, of information systems at California State University at Fullerton, but I'm not speaking to you here today as a professor. It's been 5 or 6 years since I stood in front of a lab like this and taught anything. I'm the talker here, and Barbra Sperling, who's at the top here, she's the doer. So she's the manager of development for MERLOT. So everything that you see that's going to happen here today, that you'll be doing, that you'll be working with, Barbra and her programmers are responsible for making happen, including the relationship, at least the technical relationship between MERLOT and MERLOT. So as the professor and me is going to start by talking, and then I'm going to turn over the doing to Barbra. You'll be working with the computers and with Barbra, and I'll go around, I hope, and if there are problems as we're doing things, I'll learn too how to do some of this stuff. So I want to ask you, Ellie, I know that everything's being projected on all these screens. Will Barbra be able to release the screen so that people can... Okay. So that's that. Right. There are two really major parts today, in my mind anyway, maybe not in Barbra's, of what you're going to wind up doing here. You're going to learn about MERLOT. Barbara's going to show you the relationship between MERLOT and MERLOT, because the whole MERLOT thing is in English. The MERLOT thing, of course, is in Hebrew, which is our really terrific accomplishment. And mostly that has to do with that she'll lead you through the website. She'll show you the functions. You'll join MERLOT. I'll tell you what that means in a minute. But the second category of things, and Ellie mentioned that, is this thing called the content builder. So MERLOT, for the most part, is a place where you search for materials and you contribute materials. And the content builder is a place that we have where you actually create materials. It's different. So anyway, that'll be most of what happens here today, plus a lot of talking. So this is Barbra's slide. I want to ask you, all of you, anybody here in the room is currently a member of MERLOT? It's free. So we have 1, 2, please don't be shy. I'm standing, I'm not shy. 1, 2, 3, 4. And Ellie. 5. Okay, great. And how many people here had never heard of MERLOT before all of this started? Okay, don't be shy, because when you're finished, you're going to know, this group is going to know more about MERLOT than anybody out there. Pardon?
Everyone will hold their hands raised.
That's right. You can't get out of this room today.
How many know about MERLOT?
Okay, we have to keep doing that. Right?
No.
No, it's a good question. His question was, how many know about MERLOT? Don't be shy. How many don't know about MERLOT? Okay, well...
He does better PR than we do.
Pardon?
He does better PR than we do.
It's a smaller place. So, okay, so now Barbra will come back to that. Ellie gave you sort of a background about our relationship and the MERLOT development and so forth, but MERLOT's been around an awful long time. So this is the outline of what we're going to talk about. Not all of it equal, some of it with more emphasis than others. I keep forgetting you all have this in front of you. So let me just keep moving on here. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so a quick history of where MERLOT came from. First of all, it started in 1997. And so that makes us almost, 13 years old. It started in the California State University system. The California State University system has 23 universities in California. It's all called the California State University system. I'm a professor at one of them. They're all independent. Actually, as independent as Bar Ilan is, let's say, from Tel Aviv University. That's how independent. But it's all called the California State University. There's a sort of an executive at the top and a management level at the top. It's at the top on an organization chart, but we're really not on the top because Barbara and I work up there at the top. And this MERLOT thing, though it started at one campus, it was then taken over by the whole California State University system. So we work for what's called the Chancellor of the California State University system. And when they started it, that California State University, Sonoma, just for your information, is a campus up in Northern California in what we call the wine country. And that's where all the California wines are grown. And we think, we don't know for sure because we weren't around at the time, that a bunch of professors were sitting around drinking wine, dreamed up this idea, why don't we call it MERLOT? Okay, wonder what MERLOT should stand for. And so it became Multimedia Educational Resource for Learning and Online Teaching. It's a good story, whether it's true or not, who knows. But it was so interesting that a number of universities, they got a grant from the National Science Foundation, I believe, and so other universities heard about it, and they thought, this is a great idea, we would like to do it also. So they formed, these other universities around the United States formed this cooperative. So they all participated, which means they contributed more money so that they could participate. And when it started in year 2000, you can see, I'm not going to go through all of this, all of these other places joined, and all these disciplines became a part of MERLOT, and they announced and released, you must have been here almost by then, this website which could be used by people. You know, if you have a learning material that you want your students to use, or any students to use, the first thing you do is you make it work yourself. And then when you turn it over to other people, you kind of have your fingers crossed that they'll know that it works, it doesn't break. The same thing with the MERLOT website. The first MERLOT website was just for all the friends. But then when they went really big, they had to release an industrial level of MERLOT, and they had to get it supported by a real professional information technology place, not just their own personal computers. And so in 2000, it was hosted by this organization that's part of the California State University system called WestEd. So essentially they released it to the public in a robust fashion. Then in 2006, I've been there 6 years, Barbara's been there 10 years. We updated and released MERLOT, and what you see here, and you'll play with, is this 2006 release with many, many more enhancements, And for your information, we are now working on an iPad version of MERLOT, which I'm hoping, this is October. Well, these things take forever, right? So you kind of hope you say something and it never happens. But my hope is that by next summer we will have an iPad version of MERLOT, and it will actually replace what you're going to play with today. It'll still work the same way, it'll just look different, and it'll have iPad type things and mobile computing. So I came here to Israel at the Mayor conference, a Maytel conference. I never can get this straight. But in 2007, because they were looking around here trying to decide whether they're going to build their own repository or they're going to become a partner with us, whatever they were going to do. So in 2007, when I came here in June and I spoke at the conference, we had 47,000 members, of which you'll be members. Member is a small m, and it means of somebody who registers. We have another word called a partner, which is with a capital P, and that's a group that pays to belong with us, like Mayor is a partner. And we had 17,000 materials in our collection. Today, we are 3 years later, a few months, we're almost at 90,000 members, 88,000 and something members, and we're about 25,000 materials in the repository. It's growing in leaps and bounds, And a couple of things I should say, I want to say about, if you go to Google and you're doing a course, developing a course, let's say in instructional technology, and you type instructional technology into the search bar, you're going to get thousands and thousands of hits. And you have to figure, and not only that, the hits that you get at the top of the list aren't necessarily the best ones. What they are the most popular ones. So that's how Google works. We don't work the same. You come to our repository of 25,000 materials, you type in instructional technology. Every single hit you get will be to do with instructional technology. Of course, there'll be a varying degrees of goodness, but they're all to do with instructional technology. And on top of that, though, they're sorted and ordered not in terms of popularity, but of quality. Because we, and Barbara will explain this more, we have this unique thing called peer review, like in a journal. So our materials are every single thing that gets submitted. You'll be submitting some stuff today. Every single thing that gets submitted gets looked at by, we call them a discipline editor. So let me ask you, for example, I don't really know where you all are from. I mean, I know where you're from, but who are you?
My name is Irit. I teach Arabic in Tel Aviv University.
At Tel Aviv University. Or we'll just pick on you because you're here. I always did that. Irit? Irit.
Asphodel.
Pardon?
It's a name of a flower.
Oh,
Asphodel.
Oh, we had a botanist the other day. Irit, you teach Arabic studies. We don't
teach the Arabic language.
Arabic language. Okay. So if you go to Merlot, I don't think we have anything. World languages. Thank you. We have. See, she knows. I talk, but she knows. So we have every single material in Merlot is categorized by an academic discipline. One academic discipline is world languages, and we have physics, and we have business, and we have this, and we have that. I know that in world languages, there's probably 200 modern languages today, maybe more. I don't know if there's anything in there, probably not, in Arabic? We don't know, okay, but we can search and see later. But, so, if somebody were to put something in to the Merlot, a material, as you'll do, that has to do perhaps with Arabic language, then what happens is there is somebody in charge of the world languages discipline, somebody whose academic discipline is world languages. She happens to be French, right? Her field is French. She will get a message that your material went in there, and she will look at it, and she'll decide, not that she knows Arabic languages, she'll decide, is this truly a learning material, first of all, and does it belong in world languages? If it's not a learning material, well, let's deal with, is it a world languages thing? She'll look at it and she'll say, maybe it's mathematics. If it's mathematics, she'll send a message to the mathematics editor, and then she's done. But if it is, then she will look at it and she'll say, okay, this is good. Not only does it good, it looks like it's really useful. I'm going to send it to be peer reviewed by, she has a peer review editorial board. Maybe one or two of those people, you hope, are, I don't know what the right word is, but people whose field is Arabic languages, and that material will get peer reviewed. And it may or not be good or whatever. But anyway, so every single material that lands in, and by the way too, if it looks like somebody put some junk in there, then it doesn't go in. Just because you put it in doesn't mean it's going to be there a week from now if it's absolutely the wrong material or inappropriate. So every single thing in this repository, all 25,000 or so things, are we call the first view triaged, and then perhaps peer reviewed. And it's very complicated to do peer reviewing, and it's time consuming. It's like journal articles. I don't know how many of you have ever worked with submitted articles, but you probably have. How many people here are faculty? the professors, associate professors, assistant professors, instructors. So probably those of you who are faculty, well anyway, if you submit it to journals, it's a long, complicated process. About 10% of all our materials are actually peer reviewed. So when you do the search, going back to what I started, when you do the search, the hit list shows the highest quality. So it starts with peer-reviewed articles. Not the most popular, but the ones that have been deemed by your peers to be good. So it's a different algorithm for searching. Oops. Great. I've already talked about it. Barbara will take you through this in great depth. This is the MERLOT homepage. So it's merlot.org, and it's somewhat equivalent to your Mayor portal, but this is very much richer. So there's some essential functions here: search, join MERLOT, contribute materials. I think that's it, which you can come here and do, and much more. But those first three things you don't have to come here for. You can do through the Mayor portal. Pardon? You'll talk about that. Okay, so our vision. You're going to hear a lot about this library, this repository, and that's really how we started to become very important in the world. But today, it's more important that we recognize, and I think Ellie talked a little bit about this, and maybe in a different context, we're a community. And the MERLOT community with our partners, remember capital P, including the consortium of Israeli universities represented by Mayor. So not only do we share materials, but we also share experiences and opportunities and so forth. And we met yesterday to talk about not the repository, not the technical stuff, but how can we make the experience of faculty using Mayor and students using Mayor, how can we share with you and you with us these experiences so that everybody will participate in this community, which is why they're having this workshop. Okay, so some quick points about MERLOT. It's a good place to come to find good material for teaching. Not like the Google thing where you put in instructional technology and who knows what you'll find. There's all kinds of ways to use online. We're not necessarily saying that everybody should do e-learning. What we're saying is everybody should use technology for teaching. So yes, MERLOT can be used if you're using, what's the name of your LMS, your Hebrew? Let's say Moodle. Let me just stick with what I know. How? HiLearn or Moodle. So what you can do with MERLOT, and we're going to do more development. We started talking yesterday. What you'll be able to do with HiLearn and Moodle, and I guess Blackboard isn't in Israel. Well, anyway, some of the others is be able to use MERLOT directly inside of one of those learning management systems, and it's a guaranteed thing. They do the development. It's a guaranteed thing that you could have this available. In a month if you want it, within a month the day we start, because they do the work. And we've done it many times, but the partner has to do the work. So that's where, but then there are hybrid courses, where students come into class like we're doing here, and we do this kind of stuff. I don't want to go through what hybrid courses are, because it's a spectrum. And all of these things. You can read that yourself. And as I said, this stuff is high quality that you find there. Yeah, this is this goes to, how far does it go? One more. Okay, for those of you who are faculty, and this is true in the United States and Canada, and by the way, I am originally from Canada, when an instructor, and I know too because we talked here the other day in Israel, if somebody, an instructor, assistant, associate professor, it has to be reviewed periodically or chooses to be reviewed for promotion and or for tenure, there are different criteria to judge them by. Usually, most universities, it's research first, teaching second, and service third. In the United States, in colleges, it's often research teaching are sort of both at the top, a little bit, it depends on the school which one's more important, but it's close. Anyway, so what I put together here was that we provide lots of opportunities for a faculty member who uses MERLOT to use it and get benefits that can help them in their promotion and tenure work when they put together their file to be reviewed by committees. Let me just talk about a few of them. So, participation in MERLOT is service. Those people, those editors I told you about, they're all faculty somewhere. So they can put in their file that they're an editor. Or like for any journal, you can say you're an editor for MERLOT, and that goes in the service column. We have something called the Virtual Speakers Bureau. Barbara will talk about that. You can volunteer to speak either online or to visit, also a servicing. Peer-reviewed, important. If you submit something to MERLOT, I told you it gets peer-reviewed. If you submit a journal article to be for consideration for publication, depending on the journal, it will be peer-reviewed also. We send a letter to the instructor, the instructor's department chair, whatever, the dean, if you will, if the person wants, saying so-and-so's learning material has been reviewed and been accepted and will be published as a peer-reviewed learning material in MERLOT. In different schools that has different value. Some it has no value, some it has marginal value, etc. But anyway, we do it. It's not up to us to determine the value, it's something we provide. We also have something called the 15% solution. The more people participate with MERLOT, the more stuff they do in MERLOT, some of the things Barbara will tell you about, MERLOT keeps track of this, and we award little awards. So if you contribute, if your material is peer-reviewed, if you contribute lots of material, so we have these different levels of award. And she'll show you that. And if somebody wants to claim when they go up for consideration for tenure promotion that they got a gold ribbon or a bronze, whatever, it's there and it's documented. We have a journal, something called the Journal of Online Teaching, JOLT, which is a peer-reviewed online journal. It's real peer-reviewed, just like a real journal, a printed journal. Actually, it's 5 years old about, and in other parts of my life, I know a lot about peer review and peer-reviewed journals. This thing here is coming along very, very nicely. And in the world of journals, outside of Israel, because I can't speak yet about Israel, more and more publications are legitimate, peer-reviewed, high-quality publications are coming out only online. 5 years ago, if you published an article in an online journal, your committee would say, no longer, that's no longer true. So this one here is 5 years old, and it's really starting to take off, and it's a great place to get articles. Well, you just can't get it published, you have to go through the process. So that would qualify under the category of research. And then over here we have a conference every year. Ellie was at the conference, has been the last two conferences, which was in July in San Jose, California. And this is a standard period, present, submit papers, get them accepted or not accepted, etc., etc. And by the way, when Ellie came, I know he talked about, I saw about MERLOT being a model for other international partners in terms of what we do together. MERLOT got an award at the conference for being, and Ellie was named, but it really wasn't Ellie, it was MERLOT that got the award for being a leader in what we do, sort of in the whole community. Barb, tell me how many of these there are, please. So our philosophy is that, well, you can read this, because the important part is when you start to work the system. This last one is probably the most, because I kind of touched on it, this is the most important thing. It's, we talk about the sharing of materials. He mentioned open education resources. Faculty always have shared materials. If you're teaching a course, well, the first thing you do as an instructor is adopt a textbook. The last thing you probably do is write a textbook. You may, but most faculty, almost all faculty, adopt somebody else's textbook and reuse it. It's the same thing here. We encourage people, if they want to construct learning materials, that's fine. We have many tools that can be used to do that. And we have ways to promote not just the content builder, but other things. But we really encourage people not to waste their time. I encourage people not to waste their time building new things, especially if they already exist in the repository. So don't build new stuff, unless that's what you like to do. Reuse the work of others that's legal to reuse. So, I just can't take anything and reuse it, but stuff in Merlot, probably 98% of it is legal to reuse. And that's our philosophy. Now you're going to learn an awful lot about Merlot and its relationship to MERLOT. I want to point out one thing. If you go to, well, I don't have it here, but on the home page of Merlot, across the top there are all these tabs. And the one on the far right is called About Us. And if you click on About Us, you come to this. There's more information about Merlot, but everything imaginable about Merlot in About Us. More than we don't even remember anymore what's in here. So we use About Us if we have ourselves. And Barbara, by the way, probably knows more about Merlot than any person on earth. Which is a good or a bad thing, I don't know. So today, just some statistics. I told you this was as of October 1st. There was certainly more today. 88,000 members, and we get about 1,000 more registering every month. So it's really growing fast. More than 25,000 materials in the collection. More than 10% of them are peer-reviewed. Barbara will tell you about personal collections. It's a really important function. And the fact that there are 17,000 personal collections is a statement of something really great about our materials. Another thing you can do, how many people here have used Amazon? Do you have Amazon here? I can't see your hands. Come on, don't be so shy. Okay, Amazon. You know that if you go to Amazon, those of you who have used it, and you find a book there, or you buy a book there are comments, reviews. And so you can get some idea of what normal people think about the book or etc. It's not just Amazon too often if you go to buy things on eBay or places like that. You have eBay in Israel? Yeah. I've been here a lot of times, but when I come here, I prefer to not play with the computer. Anyway, you have these comments. We have the same thing in Merlot. If somebody finds a learning material, there's the opportunity to read what other instructors or students said about the learning material. And you can submit comments from the MERLOT portal about learning materials into Merlot. All of it in Hebrew. So I saw the slide. I've heard him speak before about right to left and that fancy little thing, the alphabet here that moves from right to left. This is a huge, huge, huge major thing. And it's an incredible accomplishment that Barbara and her people have done, because it's really enabled everything. We wouldn't be able to stand here today without all that. So that you can actually go there, search in Hebrew from the Hebrew alphabet. Of course, you can read in Hebrew. You can enter comments in Hebrew. You can enter materials in Hebrew. And any other language in the world now, just because of Hebrew. What's here? Yeah. All right, so, yeah, sure.
You mentioned Amazon.
Yeah.
And does the system also learn about the user?
Yeah, like Amazon.
Oh, preferences and no.
No.
You know, we've it's not easy to do that.
We know.
And I don't know that we want to do that. I don't know that we want to do that. But we do track not individual statistics, but we track statistics for our partners, sort of for everybody, like those numbers I showed you. And Ellie can know how many people here are using Merlot. Actually, I think we can try, the dashboard lets you look at by username, by email address.
No, it just lists. You can't search the dashboard.
No, but it lists by, yeah. This is important. You didn't know. When you are a partner, you're members as individuals, but you're a member of the MERLOT group. So when you go to MERLOT, not MERLOT, when you type in your username and password, when you register, you're going to register, and you're going to use a particular email address. When if he tells us your email address, I don't know what the Tel Aviv University thing is, but we will know if he tells us that Tel Aviv University is a part of MERLOT, and so we'll know that you are a part of MERLOT, part of a partner that's MERLOT, and when you come to MERLOT directly and log in, it will know that you're from Tel Aviv University, from MERLOT, and it will have a different screen here. So that's the level at which we keep statistics. So we'll know about MERLOT use, those analytics. But as far as individual use, why do we want to do that? I know for recommender systems, I understand that. So people who use this one maybe should consider using that one. I know, but we don't do that. Not yet. All right, so the professor part's going to sit down, and the person who really knows stuff, knows how to do it, is going to stand up. And I'm going to invite you, because it's Barbara, to interrupt her at any time.
You have to take off the...
What? Oh, yeah. Right. Actually, I want to... Yeah.
Oh, Sorel.
Yeah, what did I forget? Yeah, you can do it.
The microphone?
No, let's skip it.
You like to control them?
Well, you need to talk about...
Then you want to go ahead and leave that on right now?
All right. What's next?
Oh,
Just cancel. Go back one. Go back two. You can always find out how up to date things are, what those statistics are. See over here, this gets updated all the time, how many materials. And the other thing is, if you click here on what's new in MERLOT, go ahead, then you get even more detail of what's happened in the last 30 days. So it's kind of interesting, but I'm not going to go into any more detail. The importance of openness and sharing. And I'm not going to go, I've already kind of spoken to this. The whole notion of open is an important word in education. How much did you say about OER? You talked a little bit. There is something called OER, Open Education Resources, which is a formal term. I'll tell you about it in a minute. We in MERLOT philosophically subscribe to the notion of OER. It's our #1 issue. As I said, we believe that everybody should have the ability to reuse other people's work if they let you, to use it over and over, to take it and to make it better. And if you can use other people's work, it's easier to focus on instruction rather than to build new things. And anyway, openness is the academic way. As long as if you're going to use somebody's work, you use attribution, which means citation. If you're going to cite something in a journal article, you don't just put it in there, but you also have to say where it comes from. Attribution. That's called attribution. And in learning materials, it's the same. The attribution of learning materials is a new concept, but still, it's important. The notion of OER, Open Education Resources, came from this forum that was funded by UNESCO in 2002. And let me just tell you what it is. This is official stuff. OER, Open Education Resources, refers to any learning material that has these characteristics. It's in the public domain. Anybody can access it. You can reuse it, and it's on the web. Here are some examples. Anything called a learning object that meets those criteria. There are courses, OCW, Open Courseware, which originated from MIT, and so they are full courses. Let me just make one distinction. A learning object, in this class, learning object, learning material, it's the same, is anything that's as microscopic as a test item or as large as a full course. So when you go to Merlot, you can find, I don't think you'll find a test item, a particular one, but you might find a simulation. But for sure, you'll find full courses. I don't know how many full courses we have, but as of next month, we're going to have 2,400 more. Okay. Open textbooks. There's a whole big movement and here too, I know textbooks are incredibly expensive. So there are, in fact, there's a lot of places if a student has to buy, it's almost as expensive as tuition. So there's a big movement to make textbooks available to students online in an open way. Publishers don't like that, but anyway, which you can understand. And we have also journals online like Jolt, and open source. Open source refers to software. That's all it refers to. So these are examples of OER. Find course, and you're looking for open courses. At least at this point, how many does it say that we have, Barbra?
294.
294. There'll be about 3,000 of these things, full courses, categorized by discipline. Huh?
At the end of the year?
Yeah, end of the year, next month. Okay, go ahead. We're going around now. Oh, Creative Commons. How many people here know what Creative Commons is?
This was all the rest of Creative Commons is
I know. How many people don't know what Creative Commons is? You never ask your students who doesn't know, who's on it. I don't know. All right. We're going to talk a lot about Creative Commons. Barbra will talk more about Creative Commons later on. But Creative Commons is a very, very important characteristic of Merlot because we would like everything in Merlot to have a Creative Commons license so that people know when they find it what to do with it, what they're allowed to do with it, how they're allowed to reuse it. And down here, by the way, this is a Creative Commons license for this presentation. And what this license says is, it's available for you for free. You can change it and do what you like with it. Provided you don't make any money from it, it's for not commercial. And provided that you say it came from Merlot. So attribution, not commercial, share alike. That's the Creative Commons terminology for this license. In practice, that means if you make a presentation using this stuff, you got to use that very same license. I think that's me. Now it's going to be Barbra doing hands-on stuff.
You need the microphone? Yes. Well, we're making these switches. Just as a show of hands again, how many of you have used Merlot before today? Okay.
מה שלנו?
מה שלנו חדש?
לא, זה מצד שלנו. זה שלכם. אז יש לך שליטה עצמית. זה אותו שולחן עבודה. אז מה נצטרך? אבל זה גם, את יכולה נגיד להיכנס עכשיו. שחררו לנו אותו עכשיו. זה נראה אותו דבר.
להשלים, right? זה שלה? זה שלכם עכשיו.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is just give you a brief overview of the MERLOT website, and then we're going to actually get in and join and do a bunch of other things. Some things you'll do on the MERLOT site, some you'll do on the MERLOT site. So if you were new to MERLOT, this is where you would come to the home page. Once you're logged in, which I'll show you, we provide shortcuts to all the different things that we think you primarily want to do on the site. Sorel talked about our discipline communities, our editorial boards. These are links to their individual portals where you can get more information on teaching, people involved in those disciplines. Excuse me. You can also search and browse MERLOT based on your discipline when you're logged in. Again, academic disciplines. This is how the top level of categories are arranged in MERLOT. And then this is where you do your searching. And from here, it's all slide now. You can do a simple search, just putting in one keyword, or an advanced search, which I'll show you how to do on the MERLOT portal, where you can specify different criteria. If you only want to look for materials that have been peer-reviewed, you can search that way, or that have member comments, etc. So, if you were to click on the Learning Materials tab from anywhere in MERLOT, you would get this page, which we call a hit list. And this is how each material is defined. Whether or not it has a peer review and what the rating is, 1 through 5. If it has member comments, that member comment, you search MERLOT and you find a material that you use in your class and you think it was terrific or you think it was very bad. You can go, or in somewhere in between. You can go into MERLOT and add a comment about why you used it, why you liked it, or why you didn't like it for other people to see. We have assignments, which are learning exercises. If you do use it in a course and you create an assignment to go along with the learning material, you can submit that for other people to use. If I were to from this hit list, you have your list of materials. Let's say this was from browsing or from doing a search, and you click on one of these materials, you go to what we call a hit list, a detailed view page from that hit list. This gives you all the information you need to know about that material that somebody has contributed. Now, there could be more information that they didn't know at the time, they didn't include it, but for the most part, you get what type of a material it is. If there's a technical format, sometimes this might say video, it might say all sorts of things. You find out who the author and submitter are, there's a description, what categories it's in, and then whether or not there's a cost to use it, if there's a Creative Commons or a copyright license. And then this is about the material. Gives you an overview. The description is really one of the most important things you can include. It's a required field, but the most important thing you can put in when you're contributing a material to MERLOT for other people to use, because based on that description will determine whether or not you would even go further to look at the material. Now, MERLOT does not host, other than the content builder materials, which I'll talk about later, we do not store any of the material. So that's why you see a link here that says go to material. You would go out to the material and see it on that author's website. So the question is, why would you become a member of MERLOT? Well, as a member of MERLOT, these are the things that you can do. You can create a personal collection. You can contribute materials and comments and learning exercises. You can create a personal profile. You can receive peer recognition, become a virtual guest speaker, join an editorial board, etc. if you're not a member of Merlot, you can basically search and browse, and that's all. And again, membership is free, so it just takes you a couple of minutes to join, and you have all these added benefits. So, Ellie, do you want them to do this from the Mayor portal? Register? Okay, so I'm going to have you for... How many people have already joined Merlot? Okay, just a couple of you. So I'm going to ask you to go to the Mayor portal right now.
The address is maor.iucc.ac.il.
Yeah. Well, let me...
Without the www.
Okay.
.iucc.
Where do they...
Second.
No, I know, I just want to see who's doing it. Yeah. While you're doing this, one of the most important things that you can do is identify your affiliation, what university you're from. If somebody goes through the process here and doesn't find theirs, let me know and we'll make sure we get it added. But you select, when you get to step 2, you select education, higher education, 4-year, and then when you select the country, you should have a list of affiliations. With the same email address. Yeah, don't register again. That's going to create 2 profiles.
If you're registered already, you should remember the password.
No, I'm saying if you give me your email address, yeah, I'll reset it now.
Okay.
By the way, if you don't know, she can see everything that you're doing up there.
So if you're not on the right website, I'll know that.
If you get the password.
Don't remember the password?
I don't remember, and I asked for getting in the email.
Do you remember the
Yeah,
email?
see, that's the problem.
No, I already entered my email. So. Means how
Yeah, just,
If you don't remember your password, tell her right now.
and I'll reset it for you. Do not create another profile.
Write your email and share.
What is the developer, teacher, UX, mנהל, סגל, ספון, כמה זה לא
זהו, צריכים לחתום בשטח.
זה לא כזה לשם. אבל אז ניסיתי לדלג
מה מבקשים?
אני למשל הייתי בטוח חוק, אבל אני לא בדיוק בחול.
We especially added those, so. Make sure when you, on the affiliation page, Is that an LNG? ING, okay. On the second page of the affiliation, you need to select education, higher education, and then 4-year, and then your university will be in a drop-down that you select after you specify Israel.
I specified all the details. It doesn't allow me to go to the next screen.
Barbara.
You have to click add.
Barbara. No, you have her email address.
I was going to say, I said get her.
Give me your email address.
It's already on my email.
Next.
It's not what I put in.
I think. What does it say?
You're obliged to put in where you
Okay.
and I did several times.
Is there an add? There should be. This is step 2, right?
Yeah.
What is that button?
Go back.
What about that?
Which is the worst thing you can do.
Yeah, you need to see. Now it's added. Now you can go forward. See?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Don't go ahead until everybody's logged in. Is anybody not logged in?
Yeah, those 3 people.
Those 3 people.
Okay. You have that paper? Which one?
Where can we change the passport? Where?
On the profile page.
Profile?
No, you need to join. You need to join. Okay. Can everybody get to the Merlot homepage right now, please? Okay. Now everybody should see. Now if you see on the home page here, this is the California State University. Because that's my affiliation that I specified in that second step when you joined. For all of you, you should see it says Mayor there. Does anybody not have Mayor there? Instead of where it says the Cal State University system. You don't have Mayor? What affiliation did you select?
Tell me.
No.
Perhaps I should
Did you type that in or did
No, I stopped it.
But she did. Okay, I'll make make a note of that. That's, okay, so only one person. So everybody else has.
So don't have. I don't know.
What did you select?
Also,
On your when you selected education, higher education,
This you mean this?
and then what was the next thing you selected?
This?
If you select, did you do higher education 4-year, and then you didn't?
There wasn't an option for 4 year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Academic affiliation.
Right. So it should have been education, higher education,
It's
4
listed here
year.
as 4 year. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is what we do.
it's the same.
No. Okay.
With the higher education.
Okay.
לא בחרת השכלה גבוהה כן, אם בחרת השכלה גבוהה ישראל זה
Okay. Can you do me a favor? Okay. So you. Okay. Can you select here education, higher education, 4 year, Israel. Just type an I. Okay, now select, see if it's your university there.
no, actually education so I suck
Oh, okay. So, Ministry of Education? Okay, I'll make sure it gets, okay, so that's why, so you typed in Ministry of Education. Okay.
Can you help me?
I don't see MERLOT.
Okay. Yes.
What do I have to do?
Okay, select, edit your profile.
I told Eddie
Yes.
that across the street there is a large museum for Jewish history and Judaism. You might be interested.
Okay, so click on edit.
But also professional, because they give you a lot of information where you can find the material and people who might be interested.
Okay, so select your education.
It's across the street.
You're at Tel Aviv University, right?
Okay.
So select education,
Yeah. So you're familiar with it.
higher education,
Yeah, he asked when he was talking, he said,
4
you
year.
have an idea where to go, let me know. So I told him.
Select that. Now country,
This is important.
Okay.
Israel.
Also there's Institute for Jewish Education at the
And now
University.
scroll down.
There are a lot of scholars there.
Okay, now click add.
You know, right.
I checked her already.
You should find the partner.
Why, what does it say?
Yeah, what do I have now?
Okay, so
I can
now
ask around if you have a card, I will just
I do, I use
click
that.
on this to make, so you click make primary.
Oh,
Yeah. And now click here. Now it says mail.
What did they do wrong?
ולך?
לא, אני לא נותנת.
We could, in the U.S. higher education, we
But
select
if I
4
want to
year.
go-
They don't.
But if I want to go to MERLOT and not to MERLOT,
You are on Merlot right now. That just shows what your affiliation is.
You could log Ellie in over there, Barbara, on another tab, and you'll see the mayor.
what is affiliation?
Okay, she did different.
Open it. Another tab.
מאו?
לא, אז נשארתי לא עשיתי מהמושג,
כן.
ומאו
I just
זה
want
גרסה
to switch
ישראלית.
the password.
אז
אבל אם
אם
אני רוצה חומרים בתוך MERLOT, לא בתוך MERLOT.
את יכולה לקרוא אותו דבר, סיים, זאת אומרת, את יכולה להיכנס למרלו, להיכנס, לחפש איזשהו פשוט אם את רוצה שנמשך, יהיה לך בעברית, עם החומרים, אבל תאורטית גם,
במאו?
תאורטית, לפני שאני תחפשי במאו נגיד, תביא את הרובריקות באנגלית, זה שואב גם את החומרים ממרלו.
אני לא הבנתי מה ההבדל. מה זה משנה אם יש לי פה מאור או אם אני מחפש לי מאור?
מאור זה פורטל ישראלי שמקושר גם למאגר של מרלו.
עכשיו נניח אני רוצה לחפש משהו. לחפש באנגלית?
גם וגם, אבל כאן הכל באנגלית. אם תיכנסי למאור...
אבל במאור אין חומרים בערבית, עד כמה שידוע
זה לא משנה.
במרלו יש.
אין דבר. מה שיש במרלו יש במאור. וההפך. מה שתחפשי בערבית, אני אולי אראה...
בפעם האחרונה שחיפשתי זה לא היה ככה.
אז גם את לא תראי אותם בזה, אני רק אראה מה אנחנו...
אני אומרת לך שאני עשיתי חיפוש.
זה אותו דאטאבייס. אין הבדל. מה שתמצאי במאור, תמצאי זה. אני כרגע נמצא...
אתה יכול לתת דוגמה לחיפוש?
אני אתן חיפוש כרגע לדוגמה של...
אורית שחיפשת בשפה העברית או
באנגלית? כן.
כרגע חיפשתי את כל רק שתראו, כל האובייקטים שהכנסנו למאור בחודשים האחרונים.
אוקיי.
אנחנו את המספר, 1969 אובייקטים בעברית שהכנסו מפה. אבל הם מצטרפים לעוד 20-30 אלף אובייקטים שסורל דיבר עליהם קודם. למה שהם באותו מקום? מה תעשי חיפוש בעברית, תקבלי את כל החומרים שהם בעברית. תעשי חיפוש באנגלית, תקבלי גם לפי מילת החיפוש. אם מישהו בארצות הברית הכניס חומר בעברית...
איפה פה למעלה? פה? אם אני אכתוב בעברית, אני אכתוב בעברית, אם אני אכתוב באנגלית...
עכשיו תעשי חיפוש למאור, כי זו מילה הכי
אבל פה נניח מטריאל, לא, אבל איך אני אחפש את אני רוצה וורד לנגויג'?
אז תעשי חיפוש, את רוצה עוד במאור? תעשי את זה רגע במאור. תעשי פה בעוד טאב.
איפה פה?
לא פה למעלה, תעשי טאב חדש. תעשי תקיש לכתובת של מיטב, של מאור. תמחקי את הכל, מאור. עכשיו חיפוש מתקדם, את רוצה? חיפוש חומרים. כל מילה בעברית באנגלית, מה שתחליטי, תעשי חיפוש. תגידי אם את לא מוצאת.
אז אני לא יכולה לעשות שם.
גם וגם.
הנה, אולי הייתי צריכה לעבור לפה.
לא, עכשיו תחפשי. מה את רוצה לחפש?
אני רוצה לחפש אם יש משהו לערבית.
אלי, אפשר שאלה? איך אפשר להתרגם?
למידה ערבית. אם לא יודעת, למידה ערבית, משהו שנראה לך מהדיסציפלינה הרלוונטית. ערבית יכולה לעשות המון דברים. תעשי אנטר. אבל יש פה המון קטגוריות, את יכולה לבחור, אבל זה אחר כך. קיבלת רגע 5 תוצאות. עכשיו את רוצה בשפה ערבית, יש לך גם למטה בלנגוויג' שאת יכולה להגדיר ערבית. את יכולה לעשות.
ההבדל המשמעותית בין הממשקים, אם את רוצה שהממשק יהיה בעברית, מה שממשק יהיה בערבית. החיפוש הוא מאותו מקום. זה פשוט ההבדל, כי אם את רוצה ממש לרדת לרזולוציה, אז זה מאפשר לך את זה בעברית בשפה.
Okay. Is everybody registered now? Can anybody tell me, I know there were some people who had problems in here, if anybody could just tell me what problems they encountered, and so we can talk maybe just about why there was an issue and what we can do to improve that, besides not knowing your username or password. Did anybody? I can't hear you.
The SSO, Sign sign-on, of that identity, we recognize that I logged in already in our
Right.
Oh, they don't have a remember me.
No. When they join in MERLOT, then they go to MERLOT, they have to sign in.
No, I registered long time ago in MERLOT, and he recognized me when
you go back.
To MERLO. But the people that register here in MERLO and go...
Then they go to MERLOT, they have to log in. There's no single sign-on.
It's very important because if they are logged in and they go out of the system for any reason, like the new password or something, go to the MERLOT system, they have to log in again.
I know the single sign yet. We didn't really
אם עכשיו אני רוצה לחזור,
Put from MERLOT to MERLOT.
אם אני רוצה עכשיו
It
לחזור
says in their instruction when they're finished, click here to log into MERLOT.
למרלו אני לא, כרגע במאו זה אותו דבר. יכול להישאר על זה בינתיים.
It's okay, we'll look at it, we understand. You understand.
And the second thing is the profile.
We know that. Can't.
No, it's in MERLOT.
It's in MERLOT. The profile is
Stays in MERLOT.
It's in MERLOT.
Anything else? Everybody was able to find their affiliations okay?
It still doesn't register MERLOT at the top. I changed, I read this in English for whatever good that would do.
But when you selected Tel Aviv University, it still didn't?
Oh, for me,
Okay, because it worked for her. I'll look at it with but
It's not critical.
no, it is.
It is, but it's.
Because we did it for her and it was okay. So, okay. So this is your profile. So now is there any questions so far? So now what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to explore the searching in MERLOT for materials and members. So, as I showed you, this is what happens before you're logged in. This is what you should see now when you're logged in.
Does everybody, except for Sarah here, does everybody see the mayor?
No.
Who doesn't see it? Let's have a show of hands. Who doesn't
Okay.
see it?
What is your affiliation?
עכשיו עוד פעם זה לא מראה.
What university, where are you from that you put into the system?
לא קשור אליך, לא? זה דיבושים שלה כרגע, למי לא מופיע? עד כאן רשומה.
What about you?
אני רשומה, אבל לא מופיע פה מאו.
You're just not part of
It's
MERLOT.
not a part of mayor.
I don't have מאו.
Again.
I entered.
Click here again.
פה?
No, I just want to see what. Okay, you switched. I see. You switched back to this one. For some reason.
I didn't. I went out and
Here,
I
click
went in.
edit.
It switched.
Okay, click here. Make primary. Now click back to profile.
I made the English and that I did
Okay, now click here.
website my primary.
Oh, so what is the problem?
I'm not sure. It was changed back, but now we'll see if it stays that way. Okay, that was Hebrew University. What was your affiliation?
שזה כאילו
Why can't you do all Israel?
Not everybody's mayor.
More is it's not מיטה, it's more.
עושים רק לחברי מסע.
They all should be. That's what I'm saying. I want to see how people. I want to see if there's a problem here of how people are selecting their affiliation. If they're doing it on mayor or
More
MERLOT.
is a gateway, ISO, everything. It's not
Okay.
not only מיטה.
No, I know. I'm going by the list you gave me.
You have
So
to give us.
okay,
It's
so
a whole new napkin.
It's many napkins.
נראה שעוד נראה שברבע זה אחר כך.
what is the okay? Right. Okay, so click education. Click higher education. Click course.
כן. קורס להשאלה או קורס חובה? קורס חובה. ויש חובה לזכור שמזרח התיכון צריכה לספטור.
At the end, do you have a piece of paper we can pass around, put everybody's name and email address? Okay. Okay, so now we're going to get into searching Merlot. If at any time you have any questions, feel free to just interrupt me. So, from anywhere in Merlot, you're always going to see this search box. And actually what you'll see on the website is different than what shows right here. This is what we call our simple search. If you want to do an advanced search, where you specify more criteria to narrow your search, we'll get to that in a minute.
MERLOT doesn't have a simple search.
Correct. I'm going to show you. So if you're searching from MERLOT,
No, we have simple search.
Let's do.
you have simple or... Oh, you do? Okay.
Both.
I take that back. MERLOT does have simple search and advanced search. I thought they only had advanced. So you put in a keyword here, and as I showed you,
That's more than mine.
you're taken to a hit list. So I typed in eye anatomy, and I get a hit list of all the materials that meet those keywords. So if everybody could go to Merlot right now and type in a term that you want to find a material about in your discipline or not, and see what you get. Did everybody find something?
No results.
What?
No results.
What did you type in?
What usage mine?
In English or in Hebrew?
In English.
Say, he didn't hear what you said.
What usage mine?
Web usage mining. Web usage mining. Any data mining? Try data mining. Try something too. The search engine works like a Google search engine.
Did you find something?
It says location.
Okay. Can you try searching in Merlot for something?
I did it.
You're in the portal right now.
In the portal, I chose word language.
Right, but okay. No, go back.
She'll show you in a minute how to do.
Scroll. Go to the top of the page. You need to type something in here to search Merlot. Everybody find something? It means that material has not been peer reviewed. As I showed before in the list, if it had been reviewed, you would see a number of stars.
ההבדל הוא...
Correct.
אם אני מחפשת פה...
Only about 15% of the materials right now are being
את
reviewed.
מצמצת מראש.
Some of them are others are under review, so it's
מסוים
currently being reviewed. It would say under
לפני,
review.
כמו שעושים בחוג, זה לכאורה כתובת על הנושא. אחרי שאני עושה את החיפוש הראשוני,
You can search by somebody's last name, by their affiliation, which you now all know an affiliation, by their university, by their what type of member they are, if you're looking for just faculty, email address. Let's say you have somebody's email address, but you don't remember their name. There's lots of ways to find people in Merlot. When I showed you on the home page before, where the top part had Explore Merlot by Discipline, since you've all joined Merlot now and specified what discipline you're in, whether it be world languages, English, etc., those links will help you find other people in your discipline, so you could share information, you could see what kinds of things they're doing in Merlot as well. So there's lots of things you can do by searching for members. So this is what I was referring to here. Since I'm logged in here now, this is Exploring Merlot in Your Discipline. If I click on these learning materials, learning exercises, collections, colleagues, I will find people specific to the discipline that I specified. So I believe that mine is computer science. So if I clicked on this, and I'll see if it's right, if I'm right or not.
What did you do? How did you get here?
It's the homepage of Merlot.
Ah, this is the homepage. Okay.
Okay, so I specified information technology and web. So it shows that there are 304 people, actually somebody from Tel Aviv University that just joined.
סדנת.
Not, where are you?
Aha. So I can see all the people that are in MERLOT that have the same discipline as I do.
This is automatic.
What did you click on to get here?
I clicked on colleagues in my discipline.
So if you go back to the home page,
It's according to the last.
go back to the home page. So if you're at the MERLOT home page, and it knows who you are here, not only should it give you the logo of Mayor, which it recognizes from your email address when you registered, but when you register you also specify your discipline. So it knows your discipline, and these things here are specific to your discipline. So if you did world languages and you clicked here, you'll see learning materials to do with world languages.
Or however refined you have specified your discipline.
Right. So going to do colleagues at your institution. That'll be interesting. But that'll just be in the discipline, right?
It'll just be in my institution, Cal State.
In the discipline.
No, in my institution.
Okay, so they should be able to go back to the home page and click on. Go back to the home page. They should be able to go back here and click on in your institution and see colleagues, Israeli colleagues.
In their institution.
In their institution. Correct. So you should be able to see here if a bunch of you are from Tel Aviv University or.
I'm not sure if it looked in there or in this one.
Well, that's what I asked. So why don't you try that?
Whatever they specify.
Why don't you go to the MERLOT homepage and then click on see if you can find colleagues in your institution, and then see who you can come up with there. And there you are. Well, Ellie's going to fix that because he's going to get hundreds of people in what's the institution?
Ben Gurion
They're
University.
going to get everybody at Ben Gurion to be on the road. So this will be in place of the directory of the university. Change your profile.
Edit your profile. I'll show you that.
So that list of people is going to grow and grow and grow, right, Ellie?
Okay, two more things
By the way, how you can help it to grow is when you go back to your institution, get your colleagues to join and your students to join.
And then we can create a community. The Israeli community, the academic community. Very important.
Okay, before we go on to contributing materials, I want to just talk about two more things related to search. So we've talked about searching materials, and we've talked about searching members. Another thing that we have in MERLOT is what we call searching other libraries or searching other digital libraries. We have 20 different libraries that you can search from MERLOT. We call this a federated search. And the way it works is on the top here, you either select Search Other Libraries, or you can select Search Other Libraries from this drop-down by entering something in here. I'll do it that way just to show you. So if I say DNA, and I say search other libraries, and I click search, it's going to take me to this federated search page.
You can't do this from MERLOT. You have to do this from MERLOT. You have to do it from MERLOT. Everybody should go to MERLOT's homepage.
Okay, so I have, so I want to search DNA. Okay, is everybody at the search other libraries page? Who is not?
I'm the spy.
And what's the relationship of all of those other federated libraries? How are they? What credibility do they have?
הוא מחפש מכל פעם, הוא מסמן את כולם.
I'll talk about that in a
זה
second.
כאילו ברירת מחדל.
Okay, so is everybody at this search other libraries page? Who is not? Okay.
I have
Click on
to
search other libraries.
choose all of them?
No, just a second, I'll explain.
Okay.
Okay, so there are, including MERLOT, there are 21 different libraries here. Okay? You can specify which ones you would like to search based on what you're looking for. Some of them are faculty development, information technology, physics, Latin America. So they have different materials in their digital library, so depending on what you want to find, you would select the ones that meet your criteria. You would check those boxes. And select search.
How do I know
No.
what suits me?
There's
By
a,
the description?
yes.
Okay.
So there was a question, how do they know the credibility of these other libraries?
Yeah, I'll tell you. If you all stop, after they do, they get their hit list, and I'll tell you.
Okay, so I selected 3 libraries. I selected MERLOT, NSDL, and YouTube.
NSDL is National
Science Digital Library. And so I got 25 results from each of those, and I can click on any one of those titles. So I will click on YouTube. And it will take me to those 25 materials in the hit list of YouTube.
So it gives you the full hit list, and then by clicking on one of those, it filters for one of the libraries that you've selected. So she happens, I didn't see them all, but she chose MERLOT, YouTube, and something else.
NSDL.
And by clicking on YouTube alone, it just shows in that hit list the YouTube hits for
What subject did you
DNA.
choose?
I just selected the key term DNA.
Ah, okay.
So there was a good question that Barbara just asked me. So we have all these libraries. So are they any good? Are they not any good? Well, you know, first of all, the libraries that we include are only libraries where, first of all, we approach the library and say, we would like to include you in our list of searchable libraries. Can we? May we? And if they say no, well, then they won't get included. If they say yes, then we work to include them. But the question of how good or how bad they are is variable. In fact, we're the only library that has peer-reviewed material. So we believe that because we have the peer-reviewed material, when we return that hit list, the MERLOT stuff is at the top. Whether you think that that's better than some YouTube thing later on in the hit list or not, you know, there's nothing we can do about that. For the most part, the libraries that we choose to approach are either exceptionally popular, like YouTube, or they are recognized in academia and in research as being a valuable library to search. So there are dozens, hundreds of libraries that we wouldn't waste our time with. The other thing is, the more libraries that you search, or you choose, the longer it takes, of course, to return materials. Because we have to go out to every library that you choose. So if you were to choose all 20 libraries and choose DNA, I don't know how long that would be. Certainly the fastest one to search is below. It's right there. Who asked that question? Is that? Yeah. But I had a bullet there in one of my slides, the one-stop shopping place for learning materials. That's what we're trying to provide to instructors here, so they don't have to go out all over the place and find stuff. It's there. And you can if you just want to search YouTube and not MERLOT for DNA, let's say, it should return the same stuff as if you went to the YouTube channel and typed in DNA.
Right, we get our APIs from those sites, so the code to search them, so they're providing us the results. Okay, is there any questions so far about searching and discovering materials in MERLOT? Does everybody think they can go back now to their universities and find materials? And I don't see many heads shaking. Yes? No?
Ken?
Yes.
Ken? Okay.
And how many people here think they can go and show other people how to register in MERLOT? More important.
She raised two hands.
This is
Also legs.
And the legs.
But there's no advanced search searching other libraries.
No, because every one of those has different metadata. So it's just by keyword. If you want, you can go to their libraries, but not all of them provide advanced searches to begin with. So we have to just do simple search because everybody has a simple search. There was a question that they can't do an advanced search on the federated search page. And I said that not every digital library that we have listed there has an advanced search on their website. They all provide us with the simple search capability.
Yes, this is really...
MERLOT is one of the few that has such an extensive advanced search.
This is really important. Ellie was talking about, what do you call it, this record? This record? We haven't shown them how to put in material yet, metadata. Yeah. All the libraries don't have so many ways to describe learning materials. So, for example, when you put in I don't remember now, but if you put in a YouTube video, it doesn't ask you for very much information. So it's really hard if you're looking for a DNA in at the 7th grade level video. It's impossible to find such a thing automatically. The best you can do is find all the DNA videos, search for them, and then you by eyeball have to decide which one is good for 7th grade. But in MERLOT, if it's not a YouTube thing, you really can find DNA in K through 12.
And by video. We have a technical format option that you can select video and then find something.
So we have an extensive set of descriptors. And everybody doesn't have that. So, we take what they have and do the best we can.
Okay, we're going to move on to contributing a material. And at this point, there's 5 steps to this. There was only 3 to join. There's 5 to this. And I really need everybody's attention so we can get through this all as a group.
I suggest you do it step by step. And Ellie and I will police all these free-thinking people.
Okay, so as I said, to contribute a material to MERLOT, you have to be registered and you have to be logged in. So, assuming everybody is registered now, we know that, and everybody should still be logged in. There are different places in MERLOT, depending on where you are, to contribute a material. From the home page, we get you started with a little bit of information that we require, which is the title and the URL. If you click Next, don't do it yet, you'll be taken to the first page of the wizard. You can also select Contribute a Material from any learning material hit list page, you can also add the title and the URL on that page as well to get started. So if everybody just finds a place that they want to get started,
No, give them a place. Give them a place.
I want them to all get to step 1.
You pick step 1.
How about the home page section?
Click. And as I said, there are going to be 5 steps that we go through. There's some required information on all of the steps, except the last step, which is what we call optional information, but strongly encouraged.
Or go to the home page and pick. Everybody else will follow you. You can also do this from Mayor.
Oh, let's show them the
What do
more.
we have?
Well, wait.
Okay, so contribute material is right here. The link here.
Everybody go to the Mayor website.
Oh, but I'm not logged in. Ellie, can you log in here?
Here.
You're not in.
זה הפתוח. לא זה הפתוח פה, בשביל להגיע לשם.
Okay, so is every... What?
ספק כותרת, עמוד הראשון. טייטל, אני כותבת טייטל.
You're telling me like he's telling me like...
לא גאות עוד לא רואה, אז תמצא שוב.
No, because we're going to take you to
בעמוד הראשי.
בעמוד הראשון, כן.
Okay, so I click here, right?
Right?
Here.
Yeah.
That one?
The other one? Yeah.
ואז את צריכה להתחבר שוב. אחרי שנתחברת יש לך פה כאן.
Okay, everybody. Yeah, that's more home page.
זה פשוט נמצא בתרומה.
See it here.
Okay, if you're not logged in, log in. You can't submit material unless you're logged in.
You're not logged in?
בדיוק.
Okay, y'all logged in? Okay,
Okay. Okay.
I can't...
זה כביכול אם צריך
Okay.
עשית מבחן בערבית וקבוצה
Can material be added
כותרת של
in the
מבחן.
home page in
זה כאילו שם אחר. זה בדיוק
Any
מה שאת
language. Any language. In more and in the law as well. So it's all UTF-8. Or the,
Hey,
So this-
do what Ellie is doing up there.
no. Well, Barbara.
No, go ahead.
Yeah?
מה זה יורה? זה כתובת.
Okay. נעבור
Hey,
לעברית.
everybody, please pay attention.
Pay attention. Okay. So this is the contribute material. It's similar to the contribute material that we have in MERLOT. Exactly the same, only in Hebrew with our all the it's one-to-one in Hebrew. So you can see here the title. You can see the stars is that you have to fill in the details. The first one is title, printing something. You have materials you like to try.
You must have, before you start this, you have to have a legitimate thing to put in here. Are you on the test? Okay, because it's going to ask you for a description. So let's
The URL.
and a URL, a real URL. So it's got to be something that really exists somewhere on a server. Otherwise, you won't be able to complete all the steps. So before you even start this, you need to have something you want to contribute to MERLOT. So
Has anybody contributed a material today or prior to today? Okay.
Okay.
And can it be a website?
it has to be a
But
website. It has to be a website.
אני צריכה...
So it can be anything online,
להכניס הפעם.
but we would like it to be it's in a discipline, as you'll see, and it needs to be for learning, teaching and learning.
אני חושבת שזה יכול
Because we
להיות.
don't want So
Something that we It is not
yeah, they can delete it if they put it in.
I just want to try.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way, most of the details that we integrate here, it's part of the history code. So there is a connection between, as we said, what we have in MERLOT and MERLOT, and there is a connection between the history code and the details and the standard that we mentioned before. You can get more details when you stand on the title. You get more details. And then you can start the 5 steps that we have. The first one, of course, title and the URLs. Can you explain what this is exactly? That means the mirror.
Because sometimes you can, there's more than one place that it is.
Okay.
Depending on somebody's server capacity, so sometimes if you can't get to one, the other one's available. So
it's automatically when you put two details?
No.
You're going to put in the title, you're going to put in the URL, the second thing there. The third thing, sometimes a learning material will be in more than one place. And so the third one there is, if it is in another place, then you have the opportunity to enter the second, another URL, as a just in case.
As a backup or something like that. Okay.
We do it now?
Yeah, try to do it.
Remember,
the first
it has to,
יש לה חומר. טוב.
she says she'll delete it. She says she'll delete it.
Yeah, she will delete.
I'll delete
All
them
the
after we
details
do them. Because everybody's still sleeping in the U.S. right now, so we're safe.
Okay, try.
So try it. Once you've entered in those first 2 fields, click next and then raise your hand so we know that you're ready to proceed.
Yeah, don't just rush ahead like you know how to do already.
כן, בדיוק.
Just like